When we decided to put our house on the market, we thought about the different options, because you can go through a traditional estate agent or you can use an online only service, and we thought about the benefits that each of those might bring to us. And it was important to speak to all of the local agents that we're familiar with, because we see their boards and we know other people that have used them in the past. And Martyn Gerrard stood out with their confidence in their ability to be able to market it to the right people, the different marketing methods that they would use, and also the fundamentally the price that they thought that they could help us achieve, and it just made the decision to use a traditional estate agent much more straightforward. And then within the agents that we spoke to, Martyn Gerrard stood out as someone that we thought that we could have a good relationship with, and would fundamentally, as most sellers, want to get the best price that they can, particularly in the market that was really hot at the time when we sold. When we were looking for an estate agent, we very much concentrated on their local knowledge. I think that was key for us, because the neighbourhood that we were selling in was very much a generational neighbourhood that certain people always tend to have their eye on, because very few properties become available over time, because people tend to stay there for a very long time once they've moved in. And I think they really impressed us with their local knowledge, the fact that most of the staff sort of have lived and have worked in the local area. And I thought that they would be able to talk about not just the bricks and mortar, but the benefits of living on our particular road, in our particular neighbourhood, in a way that would represent the way we would talk about it ourselves. And I didn't get that feeling from all the other agents, and that stood out from Martyn Gerrard the most. When we were thinking about what we'd be getting for the money that we were spending, we quite quickly discounted the online only type estate agents, because I didn't feel that they had the understanding of the local area and would be able to present our property in the right way to get the best price. The experience showed us that not only from finding the right potential clients to introduce to buy our house, but also taking us through the process of actually making sure the sale is complete. That's where we found the great value for money. Martyn Gerrard were great at looking after all of the aspects of presenting our property when it came to putting it on the market. They took care. They made all the bookings and took care of everything themselves. So the company that did the floor plan, the guy that came around was excellent. The photographer that came around was great, and allowed us to stage and restage the photos to make sure that the house was being shown off in its best light, and seemed really experienced, so understood angles and lighting, and there were even moments when we looked at the photos once the property went on for sale, and we were like, wow, this is nicer than our house has ever looked in our own mind, and it maybe just brought in a question of, should we really be selling at one point as well? We hadn't bought or sold a house for over 10 years. So, and you kind of forget parts of the process, and you're very much relying on your estate agent and your solicitor to help you walk through that process. And, Greg was always on the phone. Even when there wasn't an update, he would still give us a courtesy call every few days, just to tell us that everything was okay, that he didn't have anything particular to add, but made himself available, so that if there was anything that was in the back of our minds, in our subconscious, we were able to share that with him. And he did it, and he used to do it on Fridays, which was great. So he wouldn't let any worries linger over a weekend. And we really appreciated that. I was very happy to talk about our experiences and to talk about Greg and to give him a testimonial, because I genuinely thought that the experience that we went through working with him and selling our house was a really positive one from start to finish. We didn't have any doubts, any worries, any anxiety as we went through the process. And I know that's not always the case for all buyers and sellers being involved in this process. I'm not one who goes on to Google and leaves reviews and Amazon and stuff generally, but actually this was a really positive experience. And if it goes towards giving people an insight of what they can expect when actually, because it's, unless you're buying and selling houses every year, it's even if you have a little bit of experience from 10, 15 years ago, you are still stepping in slightly to the unknown. And I think the best way of doing that with the most confidence is to hear other people's experience, and ours was thoroughly positive. And so I think that's worth sharing, because I think people tend to share their bad experiences more frequently than they do their positive ones. And so this is a positive one, and if it leads people towards what hopefully will be a positive experience for themselves, then great. I wouldn't have any worries about recommending Greg and the team to anyone that was looking to buy or sell, in the areas that they cover.